Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Kelly. This is A Life Well Spent, and on this channel, I'm documenting my financial journey. This is a weekly transaction. It's kind of a wrap-up week that I do so that I keep a better tabs on my transactions for the week, and this will be from August 15th through the 21st. And if you watch the video for my second week, I kind of hinted that this one was going to be a doozy. And boy, is it. Let's get into it. Yeah, I just sat here for like 10 minutes recording, except I forgot to press record. So that's cool. Okay. Once again, I'm actually out on my porch. It is a gorgeous freaking day. But because I am out here, you might hear some traffic. You might hear the train. It did go through earlier, but that doesn't really mean anything. There can certainly be another one. And you should be very glad that you don't smell the skunk that I currently smell. Be glad that it's just visual and audio. So, anyway, if anybody watched my video from last week, I told you that this month was gonna be a doozy. Not this month, this week was gonna be a doozy. And it is. There's not that many expenditures overall, but it's a lot of money. I spent so much money this week. Nuts, 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 nuts. The most important thing about the money that I spent this week is the particular, it was a big thing. My mother and I booked a cruise. We booked a cruise to the Bahamas. We're going to spend 4 days, 5 nights in the Bahamas, and having a good time. And we have decided, we were trying to decide like flights and all that sort of stuff, and we couldn't really find anything that was super duper inexpensive. So we ended up finding some kind of cheap one-way flights. So we're flying from Baltimore, which is not too terribly. Baltimore is probably just as far as like Philly and Newark and all the other airports are. So we're flying from Baltimore down to Miami. We're hopping on the cruise in Miami. We're going to the Bahamas for 4 days, coming back to Miami, and then we actually decided that we are going to take the train home. So pretty excited about that. I have been on trains before, but in Europe. I have been on trains. I'm actually trying. I don't remember if I've been on a train actually overnight. I feel like it's possible I got on like an evening train and arrived in the morning at my destination. I remember sleeping in a train station because I had to get on a very, very early train. Um, I truly don't remember. So I would think probably, but anyway, um, it's like a two it's like a 24 straight hour train or 25 hours, I think. So it's going to be like we leave at like 11 o'clock in the morning and we get in at like, oh no, ours is like maybe 30 hours. We get in at like 5 o'clock in the evening or whatever. So anyway, I thought it'd be really fun, something new to try. My mom, I know, has always kind of wanted to do something like that. And it was cheaper to take the train home than it was to fly home. Especially since like there's no baggage fees to take a train. Like I'm not dealing with, oh no, this is if I have to check a bag, it's another $70 or whatever. So we're gonna have fun on the train. I've kind of joked that like we're having our own planes, trains, and automobiles adventure for the holiday. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. And if you have never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and you have no idea what I'm talking about, do yourselves a favor and watch the movie. It's fabulous. Steve Martin, John Candy, absolute classic. We quote from it every year. Quote from it all the time. Anyway, so the bulk of the expenses, cruise related. Cruise related, absolutely. So we have, if I actually start here on the 15th, so this was from I already did a video from the 8th to the 14th, so this is the 15th to the 21st now. I went to a brewery. My friend and I went for trivia, and we had dinner. We just split a pizza, and we had drinks. And it was easier for me to just pay the tab, and then she paid me. So the total was 36 or 34.75. She gave me 16 because my beer was a little bit more expensive than hers. And then I paid $75 for identity theft protection from Xander Insurance. And this is one of those things where, like, to me, it's not terribly expensive. So, like, I'm kind of okay with paying it. Not more than kind of okay. I'm okay with paying it. Part of me sort of feels like if I decide to cancel it, the next day is going to be the day that I like actually need something from them. So if it were exorbitant, I probably would not pay for it. But I don't think $75 is too terrible. From what I understand, there's not a lot you can do to kind of prevent identity theft, but what Xander will do, and essentially what you're paying for, is you'll pay them to solve the problem for you once it happens. So I'm like, $75 to not deal with the headache seems kind of reasonable to me. So, all right. So on to the cruise related expenses. So when my mom and I were trying to book everything, I actually ended up booking the cruise. And so I paid for it. It went on my credit card. And I booked the train tickets because I was the one who was kind of like fiddling with it. And my mom's like, well, since you have it up on the screen, why don't you just buy it? Which makes sense. Kind of the same thing happened with the cruise. And in her case, the same thing happened with the flights. So she bought the flights, I bought the cruise. The flights were about $99 or so more than the train. So when we went to split the cruise, I basically took the $99 from there. So the total amount of the cruise was $1630.30. And so my portion of that was $915.15, and my mother's was $716.15, which she has already given me, and I will use to pay the bill on it. So we're all kind of square at this point. And then we're flying down on like a Saturday, I think, or a Friday. I think a Saturday. So we need a hotel Saturday and we need a hotel Sunday. And then we cruise Monday through Friday. We get back into port on Friday. So we need a hotel Friday night. And then we are hitting the train Saturday morning. So we're going to have 3 hotel stays and then, like whatever food and spending money things we want to do. So we'll sort of suss out at that point, like how much easier it'll be to like split costs there. But at least like the prep portion of it is taken care of. So then I paid $5.29 to Swim Outlet. It's a subscription renewal, and basically when you do the subscription, you get discounted prices and free shipping and stuff like that. So I originally signed up for it because the order I had, I was going to save like something like $20 or $25. So I was like, well, it's going to pay for itself. I might as well do it. But I did not order as much as I thought I was going to this past year, mostly because I kind of stopped swimming. I got myself away from that habit, which I am in the process of getting myself back in to that habit. So I expect that I will be using it more. So I kind of kept it, and then I'm just going to see how the year goes. And if it's really not worth spending the money on, then I won't do it. So then my mother and I got to talking on this cruise, and her in general, like she just went to the beach with my aunt, and I guess like her stuff is just, her luggage is just, it's really old and it's falling apart, and she just wants new stuff. And at this point, we were talking. She wants to do more travel. She isn't always going to be able to go with me because she works part-time now and is getting ready to retire. And I definitely don't have the kind of schedule where I can just up and go like she can or will be able to. And we really wanted to make sure that she had luggage that was as light as it could be, but still be, like sturdy. Because one, it just lets her take more stuff if she actually has to check a bag. You don't want to, it's ridiculous. You already have to pay to check the bag, but then you have to pay like another $50. Like you've paid $75 to check the bag, and then you got to pay another $50 because it weighs like 50.05 pounds instead of being under 49 pounds. So with that in mind, it's kind of the same principle as with backpacking, right? I downsized. I changed my the backpack that I take with me hiking because a lighter pack gives me a little bit more. It gives me a whole lighter setup and a whole lighter base weight, which makes backpacking more comfortable. So I thought, the same would definitely apply. A, it would give you more wiggle room on a scale, but B, it would just be more comfortable to be like dragging along in an airport with you or lifting up into an overhead bin. I'm not sure she could really do that, or she's getting to the point age-wise where like that's probably going to get start to get a little bit more challenging. So the lighter we can make her setup, the better. So with that in mind, we went down to one of the outlets that has a luggage shop, and we were looking at different luggage options, and we think we found a set that we like. And then the more we thought about it, the more we were like, well, let's just see. Like, I wonder if we don't know what size we need to get. She's going to get like a large and a small, or a medium and a small. But I was like, I don't want to get the medium and the small and have that still not be big enough for what we need. So anyway, we're going to actually try to like pull all our stuff that we would plan on packing for the trip and seeing if we can get it into like a medium sized bag and 2 carry-ons. So we're going to like check one bag and have 2 carry-ons. So we'll see. We'll see how that works. Anyway, while we were down there, we were also shopping for some other things that we were going to want. And oh my God, my neighbor's cat is sitting in our window. So cool. So cool. It's a black cat too, so he's creepy looking. So I went to the Columbia store and spent $98.95. I got a couple things that I definitely did need. I was looking for a hat that had stuff down the back of it that would like protect my neck from sun, because I went to see a dermatologist not too long ago and to do a skin cancer screening, and she was like, nope, skin looks fine everywhere, but make sure you put sunscreen on your neck because you got some damage back there. You're pretty bad at that spot. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. Mostly I just wanted it for like kayaking so I could keep the sun off my neck, because it's a lot more challenging. I really hate things on my neck, especially when I'm hot. So I'm thinking I'm really not going to love that. However, it is kind of like a material that I could get wet. So I'm wondering if I like, maybe it'll feel okay if I get wet, it'll help me feel cool. I don't know. We'll see. If I hate it, I hate it. Whatever. I spent like $20 on the thing, but then I was able to get a couple other shirts that I really loved, and I got a dress that I adore and a skirt that I adore, like a little athletic-y sort of skirt with spandex shorts underneath. So that's nice. Went to REI, spent $37.05. Actually, the total price was $74, but my mother and I both got little waterproof pouches for our phone, because we are planning on getting off the boat at port everywhere, and in one of those places for sure there's going to be like snorkeling and stuff, and some other like water-esque activities. Number one. Number two, I couldn't find the one that I know I already have. And number three, I know I definitely wanted one for while I was kayaking and stuff, because at this point, like, I don't want to not have a phone, but I was putting it in like a stuff sack. So if I actually needed it for something, it was going to be hard to get at. And there'd still be the risk of like, if I got it out and like dropped it, I'd be screwed. So took care of that because I needed to for my kayak, but also it's now going to be handy that I'll have it in the Bahamas. So that was $37.05 at REI. And then my mother and I went to BJ's. If you've never been to BJ's Brew House, like, you gotta go to BJ's Brew House. Oh my God. So good. So we went to BJ's Brew House. I treated my mother to lunch. So $71.10. And I pretty much treated her because I kind of made her go there. She liked it. She enjoyed her food, but I think she could have just been, I think she would have been fine just leaving it. And I was like, no, it's the only one in the whole state. I think it's the closest one anyway. They're mostly a West Coast thing, but there's one in Lancaster, and that's where we were. So I was like, we're going. I don't care. I'm getting a Pizookie. If you've never had a Pizookie, go get a Pizookie. It's a pizza cookie Sunday thing. Okay, went to Old Navy. I was actually looking for. I have like some tank tops, and then they do camis, and they usually send them on sale. And I thought, oh, they might have a bunch in the outlet. Couldn't find them anywhere, but I did find some workout tops that I knew that I was looking for something that I could use. Found those, got an additional discount for being a teacher. So they were already like deeply discounted, spent $18.34. Then I went to Sam's, spent $46.66. I bought myself an umbrella because mine is, I probably used mine 2 years longer than I should have. It has holes in it. It doesn't connect in places. Like, it doesn't actually do a good job keeping rain off of me when it rains. So I got a new one. I just finally sucked it up and got a new one. So that was kind of like my weekly grocery run plus an umbrella, which I think was like maybe $13. 13 of that was the umbrella. And then I put some money into a separate bucket. So I use an Ally high yield savings account. And one of the things I love about Ally is that there are savings buckets. And by the way, if you're interested in an Ally account, I have a referral link down below. I think it's like a limited time referral link. And they do like, I think they give you like, it's like $25 or $50 per person up to $250. So if you're ever interested in getting an account, like you don't need it for the link, but it would be great. I would certainly take the 25 or 50 or whatever dollars it is. But I'm really, really loving the high yield savings account so far. I have made over $100 in interest, and I've had this account since the end of May. So it's been awesome. I've been really loving it. One of the things I do love about it is in my savings account, you can have little buckets. So even though it's like all together and all the interest is counting together, you can actually see in your account how much money you have in different buckets based on how you've been spending things. I keep track on a spreadsheet, and then I kind of just end up dumping it all in one account anyway. But this is nice because now I have a backup, right? I can look at what's in my spreadsheet and I can look at what's in the account and make sure that they match up. So, anywho, it gives me like the total amount, but then it also gives me all the bucket amounts. So I made a new bucket for the cruise because I got to thinking and I was like, I'm sure there's going to be like random things I want to spend money on the cruise that like I haven't really thought through yet. And I think what I would like to do is just start putting some money aside. And so I was looking at it. I just talked to my mom about it yesterday, and I was like, let's just do $20 a week. And then we counted the number of weeks out, and we were like, okay, that gets us close to 400. So why don't we do $40 a week instead? And or no, I'm sorry, we did $20 a week, and then I did 40 this week so that I'll just pretend I counted last week, and then there'll be a couple other weeks where I do $40 instead so that I can have more money to just and the money is just designed to just be blown. Like it doesn't matter what I spend it on. Just spend it and enjoy. Buy souvenirs with it, buy, whatever, leave tips. I don't even care. But yeah, that's the purpose of that money. So it's a lot of money spent in a week. Like a lot for me. But most of this is coming out of like savings funds and stuff like that. This stuff, my, plane ticket or my train tickets and the cruise, sinking fund money. I have $2,000 in my travel savings, my travel sinking fund. So money's going to come out of there. So I'm not necessarily going to overspend on a lot of my budget here. These things and subscriptions, sinking fund money. No problems whatsoever. This clothing, sinking fund money. These two are clothing, sinking funds money. So, yeah, I think I ultimately I've done pretty good in the end. Now I'm going to have to work in the next couple of months to put that money back into their sinking funds, and that's fine. I can live with that. I am thrilled. I'm really excited to go to the Bahamas. I think it's going to be a really, really fun trip. I'm really, really excited about the train. I'm, going to have our, I don't know if I said this before when I was recording, or when I thought I was recording, or if I said it earlier in this video, but if I said it earlier in this video, you're going to hear it again. And if you haven't, it'll be the first time. My mother and I were joking that we're kind of having one of our own trains, planes, and automobiles adventures. And if that reference makes no sense to you whatsoever, I implore you, go out and watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Fantastic movie from the 90s. Steve Martin, John Candy, absolutely hilarious. Totally give it a shot. My family and I quote from it frequently. And it's a Thanksgiving holiday movie. So in my household, my household of one, get it straight. In my household, we watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on Thanksgiving Day. That's a tradition. In fact, like a couple years ago, my mother and I went to Mexico on Thanksgiving. Over Thanksgiving. This was right after my dad died. We just didn't really want to be in the house thinking about first Thanksgiving without him and all that stuff. And because of the nature of his illness and injury and stuff, my mother really wasn't able to go anywhere until he died. And then when he died, I was like, let's get out of Dodge. Let's get out of town and go somewhere else. So we did. We went to a resort in Mexico, and I downloaded Planes, Trains, and Automobiles so that I had it on my phone and I watched it on the airplane because I'm serious about my Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Anyway, great movie. You should totally watch it. I'm not sure where you can get it. I definitely bought it as soon as it was, available on any kind of digital format. So I have it in iMovie, but I don't know what else is available. Probably Amazon. I'm sure you can buy it on Amazon, but whether there's any place you can stream it for free, I don't know. However, around the holidays, you might be able to. Like I said, not a problem for me because I will download that to my phone in a heartbeat. All right, so these are my transactions for this week. Again, not that many transactions, but boy, did they do a lot. So, that's how it goes sometimes. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Let me know. I feel like I've said this before, but I don't remember if I've said this in this video. I do this every week because I need to make sure that I keep my spending on track. If I don't, and I get to the end of the month and I put my transactions in, I oftentimes end up way overspending. So this helps keep it in the forefront of my mind, especially if I am paying for something with an app or paying for something on Discover. Sorry, I'm waiting for a message from my best friend, and I just got a message. Not from her. I was just checking if it was from her because we're heading out. She does not live around here and is in town. So we're going out tonight for something. I don't really know what we're going to do. It's really nice out. We might just go for a walk and dinner, but who knows? So did not mean to check. I just need to get to her as soon as she calls me. Anyway, if you've made it this far and listened to me ramble, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.